Thank you so much for being here today. So today we will discuss about student branch, student activities, vitality with our student activities leaders. So here we have IEEE student activities regional leaders of region 6, 8, 9, and 10. And we have our global chair. This event is organized in collaboration between our regions with the support of Student Activities Committee. So this is very exciting. And I would like to start. This is Timaya Kar. And I would like to call everyone just for, very brief introduction. So I would like to just introduce first. We have the global chair of student activities, Hossam Ali. Welcome, Hossam. And
yeah, thanks, Mai, for the introduction. It's my pleasure to be with you today. And yeah, it's great to be able to find one spot for 4 regions of the active IEEE regions.
Thank you, Hossam. And we have Elizabeth Johnson, Region 6 Student Activities Chair.
Hello, this is Elizabeth Johnston. I'm from Region 6, which is the west coast of the United States, and I am specifically located today in Alaska.
Thank you, Liz. And this is Simaya Kar. I'm Region 8 Student Activities Committee Chair. And we have Heiron Lopez, Region 9 Student Activities Committee Chair. Heiron.
Hi guys, I'm Heiron Lopez. I'm representing Region 9, which is basically Latin America and Caribbean. I'm located in Brazil, in the northeast coast.
Thank you, Heiron. And we have Jennifer Dela Cruz, Region 10 Student Activities Committee Chair.
Hi. I'm Jennifer, and you can call me Jen, and I'm representing Region 10, and I'm based here in the Philippines.
Thank you so much. So I would like to have a little bit more brief introduction and hear each one of your stories because today you are the student activities leaders of your regions, and Assam, you're leading the global student activities, and you're all dedicated volunteers, which also help your life and professional life as well. And because by knowing you for a long time, so you made a story. You all made a story in your life. So that will be nice to hear your brief story for this volunteering, and of course what you do in your professional life. Just Hossam, can we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So I work as a cybersecurity program manager at Victoria University. I'm based here in Australia, and it has been a great experience for me to be part of IEEE. I started at the student branch as a student member, and then I became a head of a club, electronics club, and then I became the chair of the branch. And it was an amazing experience for me to be at that age as a student, leading a student branch. And it's good for all volunteers to be part of IEEE, because at that time in your career, you build your personality and characteristics. That's why it's crucial for you to do some activities. And after that, I joined the YP local group, and then joined IEEE Day with UCMI 7 years ago, and then joined MGA committees for the ITCO, the IT committee, GEOS, Geographic Units Operations. And after that, I joined SAC, and here I am. This year, I'm the SAC chair. So it has been a great experience. I met many great people during this experience, many professionals from different countries worldwide. And yeah, I gained many skills out of that, to be familiar with people, to be part of big network, and to be able to deal with many people from different cultures and backgrounds.
That's important. That really helps us to make difference. Thank you, Hossam. And and Liz, can we hear your story?
Sure. So I joined IEEE because of pizza. I was a freshman student at my university. We don't have a a major selected in your freshman year. You go to all of the different programs and get a very broad background your first year. And I was a poor college student, so I went to all of the different society meetings. And so I went to the civil engineering and the chemical engineering. And one day I was in the electrical engineering meeting, basically for the free food. And somebody said, I nominate the girl. And at my university, there aren't a lot of girls in our program, and I was the only one. And I had no idea what it was. I wasn't even paying attention. And they had nominated me to be chair of the IEEE student branch. And then I got elected. So I had to figure out what IEEE was awfully quick. So I went to the Regional Student Leadership Training Workshop, which is Region 6's kind of equivalent to the Student Congress that Region 8, 9, and 10 have. And I, the next year, had switched to be an electrical engineer and applied to be the regional student representative. So I served on the SAC committee as the student representative during the period that we did a lot of really cool projects, like creating the IEEE Extreme Programming Competition. And I later went and said, well, I really want to stay on SAC. How do I do that for more than 2 years? So I joined what's called the Publication Services and Products Board as the IEEE Potentials student editor. And that gave me 2 more years. And I rose through the ranks with Potentials to be editor-in-chief eventually. And years later, I was at an IEEE region meeting for another reason, and the SAC chair at that time didn't show up. Their flight was delayed. And I said, well, I served 8 years on SAC. I could do this student leadership training workshop, no problem. So I went and gave a whole day workshop to a whole room of students. And they're like, well, our SAC chair is actually leaving after this meeting anyway. Do you want to be the new one? So I came back to SAC. So it's been a long time that I've been involved with this committee, and students are really the beating heart of IEEE. So I'm very happy to be back. That's the short version anyway.
That's very exciting. And today, just like how you start, it really helps us, to engage in those initiatives. And, we just take the lead, when there is an opportunity, and you never know when that opportunity comes. That's awesome. So, hey, Ron, so your story.
I left Brazil to do an exchange in the United Kingdom. And then when I came back, a lot of my fellow colleagues were working with this kind of student IEEE branch. I didn't know what it was. And they were like, come here, let's be part of this. And no, I just want to graduate. I need to leave university. But they had this English conversation group that was very interesting to me, because I just came back from an exchange and I wanted to keep my English level. And from there, they were luring me in and pulling me in. And after a few months, I became the student branch chair. And after that, it was a lot of, as Elizabeth said, I was trying to work with the region, trying to understand where the things were and how they needed to be done. But the section didn't have a student representative. And after, I think, so many questions to the section, they said, why don't you become the student representative? And I was like, calm down, I just need some answers. But then I became the student representative. And after that, I was the section chair. And when I thought that I was going to have my vacation from IEEE, I was invited to be the regional SAC chair. And I don't know what I'll be doing next year. Hopefully something with IEEE, but yes, it's 1 year after the other, and it's been an amazing pleasure. I think so many opportunities that I have had, it's for sure because of IEEE.
That's a really good point. We're just changing roles in different organizational units, but our paths are crossing again and again, and we find another exciting opportunity. That makes IEEE beautiful. So that's probably the reason today we are together, right? Awesome, Hiram. Thank you so much. And Jennifer.
Yeah, for me, I started as a WE committee chair when I am already a graduate student. I don't have those interesting story to share, but I'm already a graduate student and I joined in 2008. Later on, I became a vice chair and chair in my section for 4 consecutive years, and began forming student branches in the Philippines. Then we supported and paid for the membership of the students to complete the petitions. I am also the founder of Women in Engineering in our country and the Education Society. And during IEEE section meetings, flagship conferences, Congress, I started to meet the IEEE champions. And one of them, of course, is CMA. And I was inspired to continue my volunteering until I was invited here in R10 to handle SAC for 2021 and 2022. So my volunteering experience actually transitioned from section, and until now, I'm still a counselor of my student branch in my university.
Jen, it's already exciting. That's very exciting. And actually, back to my story. So like I also started as a student, you know, like in the first day of the orientation day, there were student branch booths, and I already listed IEEE just to have a try, but I was going all around, and I found the team very, you know, just like exciting and funny, you know, just like I thought, you know, I could just like have a great time with the team. So team really inspired me. But actually, they just said, oh, you can meet with CEOs and you know, like it will be good for your career and so on. I immediately joined. It was 2007. So I didn't know. I was like first year as a super dedicated for the student branch. It was all of my life, you know, like starting new initiatives and so on. But I was not even aware how big and global IEEE is. You know, like it was just like, and I was just so focused on the student branch. So then it was a chance. By joining a new initiative in the project, it was even my freshman year, I traveled to Region 8 Student Branch Congress in London. So where I met, Liz is one of my very first international IEEE friends, probably. So today we are speaking in the same panel, you know, like after 14 years. So like, and also, you know, the same story with all of you, like how we connected in the congresses, like Region 8 congresses with Hussam, and we just like volunteered together in the IEEE Day team. And also Jennifer, you know, like how we met when I had that opportunity to travel to Region 10 Congress. So like we were connected that time. So like we're changing the roles and positions. So like since 2007, I just served several organizational units positions. But today, you know, like after a while, it was my first involvement after serving in the student branch and Turkey section. So like I was not even aware if it's possible for me to join the regional committee of SEC. So I serve as like student branch coordinator in the first international role. And it was surprising for me that you receive a mail because, you know, like you need to know, like whatever you do as a volunteer, dedicated volunteer on IEEE, somebody sees you and recognize you. So it was surprising email to get invitation for the regional student activities committee. Then and I thought student branch years are already over, so I can probably IEEE is over for me as well. Even though I traveled to different Region 8 Congress, I was not aware how to get appointed. But actually, those international positions in student activities committee at the global level, regional level are available for everyone if you try. So first, receiving award is important, and being in international environment. And today, probably we didn't host these congresses in person, but you know, just like by this interaction, by these virtual environments, we know many students and active students, and by those invitations, it's actually the same spread. So how I ended up in region, and it's going on, you know, like I serve in women in engineering, young professionals, humanitarian activities. By changing my location, I serve in the Region 10. From Region 8, I moved to China and work in China. So those years I lived in China and served in Region 10. So like it was an opportunity for me to serve in a new ad hoc called entrepreneurship. So today, after working in a corporate environment, today I became entrepreneur after a while because, you know, I gained a spread. I think I triply experienced from student to young professional, or, you know, like or senior professional later. So like all these opportunities are life changer for us. So that's actually the reason all of us here in this panel, today's like student activities leaders of our region. So like all our paths crossed in the past, we changed the positions, and we all change our life by the help of this inspiring environment. So that's also one of my story, long and short. So I'm very happy to be a part of this panel in collaboration with all the 4 regions, and with Hossam's just like support. And like it is important to see there is an inspiration behind all of these stories. So that's why I want to ask you, it's even excited to start with the first question. What inspires you the most volunteering in IEEE? Because there are so many, probably, you can refer many, but I want to hear what inspires you the most at IEEE. So we can start with Hossam.
Yeah, I think it's the spirit you get with the team. When you volunteer with a team, you have a good feeling of achievement, and what you do here, it makes you happy. So even many people ask me this question, why you do volunteering work for IEEE? What is the benefit you get out of it? I enjoy doing this. I gain lots of skills, and I enjoy the time working with volunteers, working on a project, and see the outcome and see the value we can deliver to students on a local level or world or international level as well. So it's a good experience. It's a good feeling to work on a project and see the outcome and to feel the achievement and the amazing network of volunteers like you. So when we work with volunteers, it's different than the professional life. We work for a common goal. We work under the same umbrella and we enjoy what we're doing. That's it.
That's a very good answer. Absolutely, Hossam. And Liz, what inspires you most?
What inspires me most is probably the diversity of thought that I experience at IEEE is so much wider than any everyday experience can give me. And so when I do work collaboratively on a project, I see this like personal passion that each person brings to it. It can be about something silly. Right now I'm on the governance committee of IEEE, and people will argue about a bylaw wording change for a long time, but they are super passionate about it and they really care. And when you get into something that really excites me, like Sime and I were on the Humanitarian Activities Committee, and there were some things that I was just, this is important to me, I'm going to make it happen. It's magical what can happen. And having, 10 regions all over the world is not something that I get exposed to in my everyday career, but having that through IEEE, I just value it. It's something very important to me.
Diversity really inspires us. Absolutely, Liz. And Hayron, what is your inspiration?
Yeah, I guess my inspiration changed from when I started as a volunteer, because when we are at a student branch, we are much more connected to the activities, and I get the sense that when you are going up, we are dealing with more people and management, but we are not like creating the impact ourselves. But every time that I see a great activity that a student branch is doing in a community or in the university, and I see the huge impact they create, I feel like a tiny bit responsible because I'm a part of that chain. Maybe an email that I sent that possibilitated the fund they got to that activity, or even because I was part of the petition they signed to create that group. It's like the work we are doing here is like creating possibilities. And I think for me, IEEE is about possibilities because in my university, we didn't have a lot of clubs and a lot of opportunities as it is in other countries. But IEEE like gave me the power to, if we wanted to do a course, we could do it. If we wanted to create an activity, we could, because of that group. And it's a lot of power if you use it to the good side. So I think it's like the impact. I think the impact moves me, like the impact that students are creating like every day.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Hayron. And Jen, your inspiration.
Okay, I'm actually inspired with the hard work and dedication of IEEE volunteers and from students to professionals. And I have been invited several times with some engagements and some events as a chief guest and grace their events. And I witnessed their vibrance and energy. And of course, without asking for anything in return, just pure love for IEEE. And also, what inspires me is, of course, the network, the people with whom we are volunteering with, and more of a direct connection. So this is a rare opportunity for us. And so I cherish every moment with IEEE.
Thank you so much. And also for me, just like as you all already said, that's just like we're beautifully diverse. And network itself, the people inspires me because like we have a lot of connection and we have a lot of opportunities. So we change roles and we are all busy and all these volunteer activities also helps us in our private life and professional life, although it looks like challenging, but like we have a lot of learnings from these and we touch each other's life in different years in different positions. And after years that you see a small small action and a small memory you share has a lot of return in each other's life. So that really inspires me. Like if you keep volunteering longer, like every single year, one day you will see another old friend of you that you will just remember a memory you share, but probably that memory also has an impact in your life, in that person's life. So that's why network really matter. Like network really inspires me itself and all the people inside. So because we are so beautifully diverse and beautifully connected. So it's like you feel like a one. So that's why when we celebrate or when we share vision, we easily get united. So because we all around the world, we're having the same vision, which connects us even better. So I love that. So, well, here we can actually already refer a lot of advantages, just like for in our life, because in our story we shared, just like how IEEE helped us. So how do you see what are the advantages of volunteering at IEEE student branch? So because I hope this session will be seen by the IEEE student leaders. So here IEEE student branch volunteering or supporting the student activities help us to shape our life. And there are a lot of just stories that we could tell. But what would be the advantages that if you would like to refer? So Hossam?
Yeah, sure. So the main advantage is mainly about building your characteristics and gaining skills while you are still at a young age. So with IEEE activities, you gain many skills like communication skills because you engage and talk to many people within the university and outside of the university to organize an event or workshop, for example. Also management. However, if you are managing a small team of 2 or 3 people, it's a good experience to manage a team, and especially they are not paid. It's not a professional. You're not working at a corporate or a company. They are volunteers, and you have to keep them happy and motivated and enjoying what they are doing. And also leadership skills. And I always say, if you read all the books about leadership, but you never practice it, you will never be a good leader. So it's a good way to manage leadership and to drive a branch or maybe a subcommittee or committee of the branch to achieve something. And this will be the start for you to be a good leader.
Absolutely, Hossam. Thank you so much. And Liz?
I agree with everything Hossam said, so I will not repeat it. However, I'll add maybe 2 more thoughts. One is being a volunteer at IEEE student branch gives you a chance to fail. And that might sound weird, but it gives you a chance to fail in a small way. So you can then give examples in interviews when you are looking for a position of, I did this, it didn't work. I worked through it this way. Either I had a difficult team member, or we overspent the budget, or we had to fundraise and we didn't have any money, or this went disastrous. The speaker didn't show up because their transportation was delayed and I had to adapt in this way. And having that safety bumper of it being within like a student environment is really gives you the chance to really just stretch yourself and try something that if you were just say an intern in a company, you might not feel like you had enough authority or there was too much risk to you to take on that. So I think giving you a chance to fail is actually an advantage, which it doesn't necessarily sound like it. And then the second advantage I would say of volunteering at IEEE is just the people you meet. I now have a network. I can travel almost anywhere in the world, and if I needed to, sleep on somebody's couch because I know an IEEE person, or an IEEE person knows an IEEE person. So if I wanted to know what the latest, microgrid technology was, I could also like find a person that is an expert on that area, and I could LinkedIn them and they would respond to me because they would see that I'm another IEEE person, not just some random person contacting them. So yeah, those are my two.
They were good points. Thank you so much, Liz. And hey, Ron?
Yeah, Elizabeth took the words out of my mouth because I was about to say like fail. Because I really, just to add, I think of IEEE as a big organization, and it's not that far from a job in some ways. Of course, you're not getting money to work, but you still have to send emails, you still have to be part of meetings, you're still going to lead things, and you tried everything first. And if Liz covered the fail part, I think also there is the try part, the what you like to do. And for me, it was a journey to discover what I like to do when I'm working, because we have a variety of technical options, and you can learn and try to see, okay, I like power and energy, no, but maybe I like robotics and automation, no, but I like signals, I don't know, there's so many societies that you can try and see, oh no, I like leadership, oh no, I don't like leadership. And it's okay if you don't want to be like the head person for a big project, but it's when you try things and like, okay, I discovered that I want to go this way, and it's really useful. It is really useful to discover this some early years on, when you're going forward, because if you need to do adjustments in the future, it will be much harder. So as soon as you know what you want, you will reach your goal easily.
Thank you, Ron. Jen?
Okay, student branches are one of our important OUs, and paying membership fees does not end in just attending activities offered by your student branch, your sections, societies, regions, and MGA. Actually, I even solicit suggestions from my team members because I'm not really hands-on in terms of handling student branch. I mean, as a volunteer or as a student volunteer, because I already started with them as their advisor or their counselor. But volunteering at student level allows you to witness the strategies of the senior student members and benchmark from them. And if you had fun, learned from a technical seminar, you might wonder how it is to be one of the organizers. Well, this is a game changer. Volunteering at SBs will enhance your leadership skills, as mentioned by Hossam. You will become a team player. You will learn member resources of IEEE that you never knew existed, because you have a different access when you're a volunteer or you're just a regular member or a student member. And of course, to be involved in diverse set of projects, you can fine tune your skills, learn new skills, as mentioned, leadership, time management, managerial skills. And of course, as mentioned by Ron and Lisa, experiencing or handling different situations, especially or specifically crisis management. So those are the things that you can actually learn when you, or the advantages when you volunteer as in IEEE as a student member or in student branches. Thank you.
Well, everything is well said. I hardly agree everything you mentioned. And I just want to add one thing. Probably volunteering itself is beautiful, and volunteering at IEEE is even more special, especially student branch. When you volunteer at the student branch, there are so many individual benefits that you also mentioned. Learn how to fail, equip yourself for life, and many other skills you learn and gain. And then volunteering in IEEE, or even volunteering itself, is a beautiful journey. But volunteering in IEEE is too diverse and too global. That makes you a global citizen. So probably you're volunteering your student branch just because the reason it's one of the most active student club in your university, but it's not only a student club. And you're probably volunteering at national level, which is a section level. Probably it's one of the most well-known student organization, and you go to global level, it's one of the most well-known student structure, but it's not a student organization. So you become a young professional, and after 15 years, so you are already in other roles, and when you continue volunteering. So it's actually a journey. When you're passionate for the student branch volunteering, you're learning about life, and you actually apply all those learnings from student branch here to your life, because you experience at your student branch is very similar to what you experience when you're an entrepreneur, you work in an industry or academy. So they're all just you always relate to all your experiences. But when you continue, here is what we share here in this panel, even just 5 of us, and we have also just many more people in our network. So all those shared experiences and our memories are part of our life, because it's ongoing. So you always have more opportunity. So it gives you more value. And when you start this as a volunteer at the student branch, I know very few organizations are very similar to us, because after volunteering at the student branch, it's not just your student branch anymore. So you apply all of those to for your rest of your life. I see this as an advantage, because it will give you more and more opportunity, when you keep volunteering. Or if you leave, you always have any opportunity. You have many other opportunities to come back to IEEE, because it never ends. If you want to contribute, it actually continues. I love that. So that I see it as an advantage. So and it's very, very exciting. And in here in our regions, so we have just 10 regions, and they all have wonderful best practices. But here we represent region 6, 8, 9, and 10. So and each of us, even we are very connected, and under MGA structure, we share a lot of best practices. But I would like to ask, just we can actually exchange information here one more time. What makes you most excited about the student activities best practices of your region? So in this one, I will start from Liz, and I will ask last Hossam, because he's the global chair. So Liz, what makes you most excited about your region's best practices? And you can also refer the other regions too. So let's exchange some information.
Well, as Simi alluded, in our background, we met at the Region 8 Student Congress in London. And the Region 8 Student Congress, well, Region 9 and 10, all of you do fabulous congresses, and it is something Region 6 does not do, and I wish we did. Instead, each of our student branches are very well resourced through their universities. Being a Western United States region, they don't feel like they necessarily need big IEEE. And so the idea that we're just a club on campus is actually hurting our region. So one of the best things that came out of the pandemic was everybody was stuck at home, and the students actually longed for connection, and they didn't have their branches anymore. So they created the IEEE United Discord channel for Region 6 student branches, which I think anyone can join it, but it's got all the Region 6 student branches. And for the first time ever, and I've been involved since I was a student, which was a while ago. I mean, she may have met me 14 years ago. They are doing whole region activities. They put on a 5G summit, totally student initiated. They put on a whole region interview mock workshop. They did whole conferences together just in the last year. So I'm finally seeing in Region 6 what I've admired in 8, 9, and 10 all these years, which is whole region activities. And I think that best practice of learning to interact across branches is something that I'm very proud of them for.
That sounds brilliant. And also, you know, like in collaboration with IP Young Professionals, so you have Rising Star Conference, which is also a very great initiative.
Yes, that's true. Although I can't credit that as a region activity, although it is in our region, because the students they did it all by themselves. Well, with the young professionals. Yes, and that is every January in Las Vegas.
And that's also a flagship one. So like it's also great. And also, you know, just your best practice you mentioned is so inspiring, you know, like how in our structure, how our volunteers immediately respond, you know, like when there is a challenge. Well, pandemic was a very good example. So great to hear this. So, hey, Ron?
Yes, one of the things I want to highlight is like engagement. I think Region 9 is not one of the biggest ones in terms of members. The membership in dollar hurts a lot of us here, and the dollar is like crazy in this pandemic. But even though we don't have as much members, I think we have a lot of activities. Like we do like crazy stuff. There's like activities every day, and last year we made an effort to make this go to V2s, for example. But what I wanted to highlight was like our congress that we had by the end of the year, because our region also has like a lot of diversity. So we speak a lot of languages. We don't have like a one sole language, which the other regions like 8 and 10 have the same thing. But mostly people here speak Spanish, and then Brazil speaks Portuguese. Like Brazil, like in the middle of something, speaking their own language. But we are always trying to go towards the English, because the English is more global, and we know that English is like the official language of IEEE, and it gives more opportunity to the volunteers to try new things and go further. So last year we had like this congress, and we merged languages. We did like half English, and the other half we divided between Spanish and Portuguese to make it more involving. And we had like 1,000 members registering, and it was like crazy, because it's also very expensive to travel. If we have like a congress in Mexico, it's really hard for people from the South America to go there, because it will be like crazy money to go. And then if we have really on the South, it will be the opposite for the people in Caribbean. So the pandemic brought this opportunity to make it online, and we brought this opportunity to several hundred students that really wanted to go to a regional meeting, student regional meeting, but they didn't have the opportunity or the resources. So it was like really great, because we had this amazing response, and we got an opportunity to connect them more and make them exchange these great ideas that they always show, and hopefully they learn a bit from each other, and we will have even more great activities in the next years.
That sounds so great. Jen?
Okay, actually, I don't consider this as best practices, because these are also being done by other regions. I just want to emphasize that we have around 1,644 student branches in Region 10. And I'm so amazed that we have very frequent events, frequent meetings with the branch executives. And because of pandemic, they have this opportunity to do this online, and also opportunity for members to participate in those meetings and float their ideas. And we can host regional level events, even though we are in different locations. And of course, the volunteering opportunities that they are giving to these students right now in the whole Region 10. And of course, we still have the offering of contest, competitions, and fundings. We have this membership development leadership fund, and a special call for COVID-19 funding. So you can also apply for awards. So those are the things that I'm actually excited about, because we have so many submissions this year and even last year. So, and many more networking events happening almost every week, almost every in every part of Region 10, from summits to webinars and other activities. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, our volunteers give the answer. So probably I'll answer the same way. You know, like when we adopt the conditions, like our volunteers, you know, like by bringing new initiatives, but probably we're like a region activities leaders. We just like follow their ideas and just try to implement those. So I love, you know, like all our, you know, just like initiative, and we have very similar initiatives. So like as best practices, and from my point of view, from Region 8, I think, you know, collaboration between the other organizational units at the region level gives us a lot of advantage. So you are also doing very similar, like collaborating with humanitarian activities, chapters, women in engineering, and young professionals, and many others. So like joint initiatives and having liaisons, so that helps us to see, you know, like what our members need. So like, and I love also like how much we contribute in new initiatives, but also trying to keep the tradition. We were not able to organize that, you know, like the in-person congresses. So we immediately change all, you know, like some form we changed to virtual. So like every like 2 years we have the regional congress, and the other year we have the cross-sectional congress. So this year, again, you know, like we just want to make sure that our students continue that spirit. It's actually in collaboration with young professionals, so SYPs. So like we're still trying to organize the SYPs in hybrid formats. So like some of them will be in hybrid form and some of them will be virtual. So like, and the diversity of the team. So like they just like bring more information from their regions. And also, you know, just like when we have the challenges like 2021 and 2020, so like we just like listen our members and we make them happen. So like how flexible and you know, just like we are, and also how we protect the traditions and the culture from our regions. I love it, you know, just like we actually, you know, like leave it to the next generation. So that's why we are here in our regions, in our other MGA committees for a very long time, and how connected we are. So I love that one the most. So as last, so like hearing from regions, I would like to ask Hossam, what makes you most excited about the best practices of all regions, let's say, or at the global level, let's say?
I would agree with Elizabeth here for the Region 8 SYPs, the Student and Young Professional Congress. It was a great opportunity. So I attended it twice, 2012 and 16, and I was planning to attend 2010, but I wasn't able to be there. It's a great opportunity to link faces to names, because you work with many people worldwide and you never meet them. So it's good to have face-to-face catch up with these volunteers. And also it is the first step to go from the local group within your university or section and go to the regional level. And in my opinion, the next step is to go to the global level. And maybe you may achieve that by attending section congress. Hopefully we can get back to normality after the COVID thing, and we can meet again face to face or regional level or at the global level.
Absolutely. We're just looking forward to meet in person, but you know, like this virtual environment kept us very connected. So like, I think, you know, just like by these webinars or virtual summits and hybrid ones, like we feel this connection, you know, like that's why it's like volunteering is still exciting for us. I can just like, I have that feeling, and I can actually feel the same excitement from you that makes me even more motivated. So like the same for that. When we are not returning from pandemic, we were always here together, and we were just like connecting to each other, speaking each other's virtual events, and you know, same for our students, you know, like we have the at the, you know, like MGA level, there is a virtual speakers bureau, or many other competitions are going on in some form. All of our regions, we adopt the conditions very quickly and respond with our new initiatives. So that makes us more connected. So like when student branches, like when students are back to their school, well, we'll probably have more advantage at the IEEE student branches thanks to this global feeling. So like, I'm very glad how united we are. And I would like to also ask, since, you know, like you're all leading student activities in the region, so like, so we have all the future direction in IEEE. Overall, we share the same vision. So I would like to ask about your opinion and your vision about the IEEE's future direction. And by also considering student branches or student activities and overall IEEE, we always say IEEE students are our future. But why? What we really mean? You know, why our students are our future, and how? How the impact of our students for the future of this organization and for themselves. So, like, because you know, IEEE, as we already mentioned several times, IEEE will not end after the graduation from your bachelor's or graduate student degree. So there are always opportunities. I would like to also refer student young professional transition and what, you know, like why they should stay in IEEE, you know, like what is their role in IEEE. So we can actually start and continue actually, because you are the last one, Bassam.
Yeah, sure. So students are the future leaders of the organization. So maybe 10 years ago or more, I was a student. I just started at the local level, and I never imagined that I would be here as the second chair worldwide. But it's, you take steps, you build knowledge and experience, and you keep going from a place to another, from a committee to a different committee. You while you have the passion and motivation, you keep changing committees, working with different people, gaining knowledge and experience from IEEE, and also from your working and from your career. And then I came to a time where I was learning from IEEE and using that at my job as a project manager, leading multiple teams. And after that, I was learning from my career. I learned a lot of skills and experience, and then use that in IEEE and try to uplift the level of volunteering work to be similar to what we do in corporates, to be at professional level. So it's going to be similar or maybe different for many students who are now at this stage. You will be the future leader, no doubt for this, and the future will be different. So I think about the future, it's going to be hybrid model at work and at IEEE, where you have people working from home and people going to work. And in IEEE, it's going to be people working virtually and others can travel and meet face to face. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be tricky. And with the new technologies and solutions came out of the pandemic, there are many opportunities for students as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Assam. Liz, what are your thoughts?
Sure. So I think that students have the advantage of not being fixed in their ways. There's a flexibility of thought. Everything's a new idea. They don't know what's been tried or not tried. And that results in some amazing things. And sometimes we have to say, oh yeah, we tried that. But I would much rather come up with the new ideas and say, why can't we have a global student programming competition? And why can't we make it 24 hours long? And why can't we make the prize a trip anywhere in the world? And then let them tell us no, or let's make it go happen. And so that flexibility and that nothing is impossible attitude are exactly what an organization as big and fixed in its ways with as many organizational units as IEEE has needs. So I think students should be at every level of IEEE, not just the student branches, just for that way of thinking. And statistically, of course, they're the future because you all get older, but I think that that is important to have students now, not just in the future. As far as why it's important to continue your membership, I work in industry, not academia, and I can tell you the half-life of what I learned in school is not as long as you think. So specifically, I work in power and industrial applications, and I need to be part of IEEE in order to keep myself technically current, in order to benefit from learning from my peers and not just have the little bubble of the people that I know and work with in Alaska be who I'm learning best practices from. So having that continuing education component, that giving back component, and that sharpening of my thinking in a global way that I benefit from continued participation in IEEE is essential. And as a young professional, you're going to switch jobs, statistically speaking, every 2 to 3 years of your career, which sounds like a lot. Unless you're going straight into academia, you're going to need a professional network that you can call on to at least get advice on how to format your resume or how to move to a different country or whatever it may be. And so having that professional network through IEEE outside of your work environment, man, that is priceless. So I would stay a member even if I had to pay twice what I do.
Thank you so much, Liz. Hey, Ron?
Yeah, I'm not a very good vision person because I can see a lot ahead, but one thing that I wish I probably had, and it maybe it's a wish, is that the sections had like their doors more open to students after they leave the university, because either if it's a person that wants to go through the academia way, you could open like the chapters doors. They could become like secretaries, at least like it's a small position, and you start to renew the people that stay in these chapters. So maybe it's like putting them through these ways. And for example, when I see like global elections and they are looking for like the new IEEE president, I always look to see if that person started as a student, because it seems that if they start as students, they will have like similar thoughts in their head. They will understand how it is like to work like at the bottom of the bottom of the organization. And it's like Elizabeth said, it's the mindset, is like the way students think. It's like really open. I always try to not lose this because we are becoming older, and I'm trying to stay at this with this young spirit of like we can do anything. But yeah, I just hope like this bridge between student members and young professionals can be like more solid. And I stayed exactly for that reason. If it's brought so much into my life, if it's brought a lot to my career, why would I leave it now? Yeah, it's a bit harder to work side by side a job and like a second job, because volunteer for me is a second job. But still, we can take like the most of it. We have this advantage of, yeah, you don't need to like work 8 hours every week. If you only have 4 hours, you can adapt. You can find a spot where you can give what you have. You don't need to be like the most available volunteer ever. No, if it's not your reality, we can adapt to what you have at that moment in your life, because maybe you're changing your career, maybe you're changing countries, and you will have like different needs, and IEEE can fulfill that needs mostly. So yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Jen?
Okay. Actually, with the vision of IEEE, I believe they will continue its vision on student members and student activities, and they will support students and provide more collaborations. But just like Heron. We also have some wish list or wishes for IEEE, like they can create new schemes for member elevation from student to IP, for example, transition, and some special benefits. These are actually requested by some of my team members. Since we are in pandemic right now, we're in on-the-job training or virtual internship or on-the-job training can be done. I hope it is possible that they can offer job fairs virtually, and mentorship also, and support from senior members, particularly in the area of research and innovation. And this one, the interdisciplinary collaborations or multidisciplinary collaborations of IEEE societies. So for a more diverse experience, like equal benefits for other disciplines, like data science collaborating with mechanical engineering, civil engineering working with chemists, and so on. So those are just some wish lists we have.
Absolutely, and from my side also, just like why how I feel IEEE, students are future of IEEE, like in this student young professional transition, and every single volunteer position you get involved, you learn something, but you inspire, and also, just like make decisions to have a new initiative or a new program or have suggestions. So and you get engaged in different organizational units when you keep all the volunteering, and we've heard several, just like policies that we probably had our voice in while volunteering. So as a student, you can start volunteering from student branch, but when you continue in this journey, so all those regulations, bylaws, policies, strategic planning. So all of these are all leading by volunteers, and you're one of them. So you're not IEEE is deciding everything on behalf of volunteers or members. Actually, this organization in every single stage, we are all volunteers, and of course we have the headquarters and our staff, but still, for the strategic planning, future direction, new initiatives. So you have your voice, not only just for voting, also for the policy decisions and the future of IEEE, which will change the future of the members as well. So that's why you feel engaged. As much as you engage as a volunteer in different organizational units, you feel you have the voice there. And you already said, I just look at the story, the background of the volunteer. They always have, a relevancy with some student activities or the other young professional or other organizational units. So all volunteers are changing the roles before leading these organizational units or the leading IEEE too. That is beautiful. So everybody makes a story in this organization. So that's why students are our future. So and yes, and I would like to. Oh yes,
Can I make a quick addition, because Naisha question remind me of something, because now I think it's a vision. I see actually going more towards high schools. I imagine teachers being IEEE members and they creating clubs in the high school, because now I see volunteers doing work with high schools. Specifically, that was a group that work in a high school trying to bring more girls into STEM, and they made terrific job with that. And I see IEEE going backwards to catch members at an even early phase.
That is actually true. For all our professional members, student members, they also have outreach to pre-university students. So we're actually also changing the future of of the generation even before the university. So that's also important outreach, and our volunteers and some programs are very dedicated for it, because we refer the tri-engineering and STEM and EPICS, all these, you know, educational activities programs. So anybody is interested and they can have a look. So, and we are all, you know, like a student activities committees, we all have these initiatives as well. Please don't hesitate to approach us, so we will connect you with the right information. That's wonderful. So I would like to ask the final remarks and thoughts. That was very exciting session, and I'm, you know, just like I would like to close with this last question. Can we hear your final remarks? Hassan, we can start with you again.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it's all about keeping volunteering even during this challenging time or even after graduation. There are many opportunities in IEEE, and also is to think more about the future and see what's coming and try to be part of it. So in my point of view, the future is cloud computing, IoT, cybersecurity, robotics, and automation. Try to put that in mind and be part of the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Please.
Thank you all for coming. I am just so very proud of all of the students I've met in IEEE, and I am very excited to support all of your future efforts. So as Sime said, don't hesitate to reach out. If I see IEEE attached to your name, I will respond.
Thank you so much. Hey, Ron.
Yes, it was an amazing talk here. My final remark is, if you want to be part of IEEE, if you want to make a career in IEEE, like make yourself seen, apply for awards, send emails, try things, look for what you love in IEEE, and you will find it. I'm sure, like everyone found is something that they love, and you can like stay on that or change things, but try. I think my consideration is like try an IEEE. It will be good.
Thank you so much for the message. Jen?
Okay, IEEE actually plays a vital role in shaping your life, your career, your leadership skills, personality. It will widen your social circle and professional network, and not just in your section, but around the globe. And for young volunteers, this is one of the advices of my team member. Think beyond the fences of your university, beyond the geographical boundaries of your country. So if you dedicate your time to IEEE, you will never regret it. And of course, others suggest you have to build your network, enjoy the spirit of volunteering, the joy of learning, and spread the word to others and become a great leader.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. You know, it was so inspiring session. And well, the last message for me, like, we are here for you as student activities leaders, but tomorrow you'll be here for the others as well. And again, we'll be connected with different roles and positions. So please see the value of volunteering and try to also learn. And this is an opportunity for your life, for your career, and for your future. So like, there are a lot of returns in your life, in your skills. So like, enjoy volunteering. And, you know, like, we are very happy to be the part of this global family. That's why we enjoy volunteering, and we see a lot of benefits as volunteer leaders. And, you know, just like, please just like, keep this inspiration and spread the word out. And tomorrow you'll lead these committees and reach more people and touch more people's life. So that's my last remark. And thank you, everyone. So like, we're about to end the session. Is there any last thing? So can we close this session? We are ready to close the session. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for all your valuable time. Well, we connected from many different parts of the world with many different time zones. It's from Australia to Alaska. So like here, Philippines, Brazil, Turkey, like how beautiful and global family we are. You can actually see. And thank you so much for everyone for your time and collaboration between four of all our regions, Region 6, 8, 9, and 10, and then our chair, Hossam. So it was a pleasure together with these valuable people.
Thank you, Sime, for facilitating.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.